Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Stream Squad in a new place. Where are we? Where are we, Jimmy? But this week, not only are we in a new place, we've got a very special episode for you guys. So we've got news on Instagram cracking down on fake engagement bots. Also, LinkedIn's becoming the next best thing for brands. After that, we're going to give you some strategy and tell you guys how to attain sponsorships for your live videos. And we're also going to give you advice on using digital audio adapters. So definitely stay tuned. We've got a great episode, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of #Stream Squad. If it's your first time watching us, welcome. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Angela.
Behind the camera, I'm Dan. This camera right here, this is weird.
And you're getting a behind the scenes view right now, well you were, of our new office space. We're coming to you live from a brand new location. We literally put a lot of this stuff together in the past couple of days. And we're really excited to be here in our new space. This is where we're going to be doing Stream Squad for infinity.
We actually have like this whole big room here too, so you can kind of see. Well, there's kind of boxes around, like right.
Yeah, we're building a lot of furniture, and there's a tripod with my camera on it.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a conference room too, where we can have meetings and do other things. So we've got a really nice, great, awesome room that's completely and solely dedicated for this, and also for bigger productions. We've got a whole nother area that's over there that we'll be seeing. I'll just do a video.
We'll do an office tour. Maybe we should go live and do an office tour.
We'll do an office tour one day. So hey, if you're not already following us, go ahead and follow us, and you can get that office tour. Dan will do it, or I'll do it, and we'll all be here. And we'll just go live and do an office tour. But follow us so you can catch that. But yeah, please leave us a comment. Tell us where you're watching from. We're here every Wednesday at 2 p.m. And we hope you come back to see us, and we hope you're here returning, seeing us. So please let us know where you're watching from. If you're coming back, we like to see you all. Thank you very much for that. But yeah, man, it's great first show in the new space. I think we should just get right into it. Let's do some industry news.
So our first story of the day is some changes going on with Instagram. So you guys might have noticed a few times over the past few years, Instagram has done purges where they take, accounts that are deemed to be fake accounts and delete those off. A lot of times, normal users up to companies and big celebrities notice tons and tons of followers disappear whenever that happens, and things are about to get a little crazier in that regard. So Instagram announced about a week ago that they are actually going to be removing likes, comments, and followers based on fake engagement. So what this is about is there are third-party apps out there that allow people to pay money to purchase likes and comments and followers for their Instagram accounts. And this just helps to boost, the appearance of good engagement on their Instagram profiles. So Instagram has created, a technology that's able to detect this fake engagement, and they're going to start purging not only the fake accounts, but also those likes and comments off of your posts as well. So what's going to happen if, you're caught using one of these softwares is you're going to get a nice little pop-up that's going to come up on your Instagram app, and it's going to tell you must change your password immediately. The kind of tagline for it is that your account's been compromised, which it has, and they need to have you change your password to keep everything safe. When that happens, it's going to log you out of everything. So those third-party apps are going to be logged out of, as well as any normal program that uses your Instagram account. So the reason Instagram is cracking down on this isn't just that, well, it's cheating.
Totally
but
cheating.
the big thing is that it is compromising the safety for all users. These apps force you to sign in with your username and password, which is supposed to be kept confidential for just Instagram. So by allowing other people access to your account, it's compromising that security, not just for you, but anyone who could potentially be following you. So that's a big reason, this year's been big on privacy for all kinds of different platforms out there. This is a big reason why Instagram is doing this now. So, kind of the moral of the story, you might be seeing some drops in your follower count over the next couple of weeks. Also, if you're one of the people who have been using, these apps, save your money. Just, use the tips we have, use tips that are online, drive up that engagement for real. That's going to help you out for people to actually go and use your content. If you're trying to sell a product or get views on videos, this is going to bring more people to you. So definitely, save your money. Get the real deal. It's going to make you happy. It's going to make Instagram happy.
Yeah, be authentic, right? I
mean,
I didn't even think about the privacy piece, but at least like on Facebook, it tells you specifically what you're offering up when you sign up for those applications. So yeah, read the fine print. I mean, you were telling me before we went on, like we've been affected. Switcher Studio and even your own personal Instagram.
Yeah,
How many did you say?
I checked my Instagram earlier this morning and I am down 20 more followers from this morning. So at first I was thinking, what did I do? Did they not like my recent posts? And then I made a post on the Switcher Studio Instagram, and for a split second it showed one number and then dropped by about 15. So there were some fake users on the Switcher Studio account too. So
I think it's probably as well just really inactive accounts where someone might have set it up, 3 or 4 years ago, logged in once, then forgot about it. I bet you this is cracking down on that as well.
I think we're all just trying too hard to like beat the algorithm when really you just need to embrace it and just be authentic. I mean, we're just trying to be as real as we can here. Do what you can. I mean, nothing's illegal about using a third-party application, but clearly it's not going to fly forever. So yeah, I guess that the age of the fake engagement with Instagram at least is coming to an end for now.
For now.
Until next time this happens, right? That's really cool. I think I'm going to move on to one of our next stories, and I want to talk to you all about an article I recently found from, it was written by the CEO of Hootsuite, and he's just talking about the rise of LinkedIn and how it's going to be especially useful for brands. If you guys aren't aware, LinkedIn actually started back in 2002. So technically it predates a lot of the major and most prominent social media platforms that are in existence now. At that time, it was really very, very purposely aimed at a place to host your resume. So in that regard, it was heavily used for that kind of use case. But we've seen now that I've got some stats here. There's 562 million users in more than 200 companies, right, in 200 countries and territories worldwide. That's from their website today. And also, they have more than 100 million of those are monthly active users. So just in terms of the audience and the number of people among that audience that are using it, they're doing a really great job of keeping active users. 100 million, that's somewhere around 20%, a little under 20% are active users. So that's really interesting how people are using that. One of the great things it's used for is it's a great way to make your organization look like a great place to work. I think increasingly more and more people, when they're looking for employment and they're looking for integrity and they want to know things about the companies and the brands that they're using, something like LinkedIn is a great way of showcasing exactly what's happening within your organization. So that's something that you're going to see on LinkedIn more so than on a place like Facebook, which is where typically you're kind of seeing something that's really for consumers, and it's that side facing. But it's a great place to just kind of showcase the good things that are happening within your organization. Another thing that's interesting is this writer's highlighting it's not just for business to business transactions anymore. Although there are a lot of decision makers and people with really nice firm and high titles in their organizations that are using LinkedIn for just as one of their social platforms, those decision makers are also consumers themselves. One interesting fact is that the people that are using Instagram, more than half have a college degree, and 44% make more than $75,000 per year. So that kind of stat points to the fact that a lot of users on LinkedIn have disposable income, and they might be in a position to be buying things. So they are business to business. They're related to an organization, but they are still consumers. We're all consumers. We all have to pay for things. So that's an emerging trend. It's something worth noting. Another thing that's really making LinkedIn really rise to prominence is that they're increasingly innovative. There's over 100,000 blog articles that are written every week just from every different user on LinkedIn, and those are people offering great advice on social media, on how to build your business, on different ways of improving things about your organization and things about the businesses that you're running. So that is really in stark contrast to some other social media platforms. Twitter's limited to a certain number of words, so you're not going to get a whole blog article out of somebody who's tweeting, whereas on LinkedIn you're going to get a lot more. They also have some interesting ad targeting where you can kind of get down to the nitty-gritty level of like the job titles of the types of people who are looking at your content. So for people that are into marketing and they're trying to understand who their audience is and who's important, who finds their brand important, they've got ad targeting tools that are really going to help people that are on that side of things figure this out. They're also owned by Microsoft. So Microsoft's got a bunch of tools that they've included that are going to help integrate with other things like Outlook, like Word. They also have some customer relationship management software. I think there's one called Dynamics 365. It's just through their suite of tools that are going to let you get some of that information and really help utilize the data that's there. The last thing I want to point out is I also read another statistic that they rose from around 500 million to roughly 575 million users in about 16 months. So that's 15% growth compared to Facebook over the same period. Facebook had 6% growth in that time. So the numbers are a lot slower, a lot different. Facebook's in the billions, whereas LinkedIn is around 570 million. But it's interesting to see that the growth of LinkedIn is very real, 15% compared to 6%. So I think we're going to continue to see a trend like that from LinkedIn. And you know, it's different from Facebook. It's not the same as Facebook or Twitter or MySpace. You know, it's a different sort of platform, but I think we're going to start seeing more brands use it. And I think that's really the takeaway from this is brands are going to find LinkedIn to be very useful in addition to using tools like Facebook, but LinkedIn is also going to be offering some great tools for brands. So yeah, so let's throw that in.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I've been on LinkedIn for a long time. I haven't really used it too much, but it is interesting talking to some of those LinkedIn users. Like we've talked to Goldie Chan, who is doing all sorts of really good social video on LinkedIn, and a couple other people.
And the video stuff they only released like a year ago with the native video. So that's kind of a new thing that they've added recently, along with I think it's changing just with, I think in 2015, if you talked about what was LinkedIn, people wouldn't think of all the things that are offered on it now.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely growing and it's changing and it's really cool. I just updated my LinkedIn today after I was working on some of the details for the story I wanted to show you all, and I don't know, I added a couple friends. I added Chris Carson on LinkedIn. I added Dominic on LinkedIn. I added Gabe on LinkedIn today. So I think I'm gonna start doing some more LinkedIn.
Yeah.
If you want to see us on LinkedIn, there's ours right down there.
There you are. You want to find us on LinkedIn. See what we're up to. Check us out there.
Yeah, I think, my experience has been kind of similar. When I first started college back in 2008, I was advised make a LinkedIn, and it was just a resume. And it was something I forgot about until I was ready to get a new job, and I'd fix it up, and that was it until the next time. And now it's something I get on multiple times a week. As you said, each platform's kind of for different things. LinkedIn's where I go really for, knowledge on social media and what's happening in the world. It's not Facebook memes or what someone's eating for lunch on Twitter. It's a different kind of audience.
Like an angry rant video.
You're not going to find those on LinkedIn. At least I haven't yet. Yeah. But, it's a great dynamic, and it's something where I see people commenting and engaging, and that never used to happen. And now it's common to see, 10 new blog posts at the start of a day, and they're all interesting blog posts.
Yeah, it's like what you just said, it's a different dynamic. It's just a different sort of flavor of content, but it's definitely worth checking out, especially for brands. So if you've got a brand and not just a company, don't think of it as, I've got a small business, but if you've got a brand, if you have a small business, you do have a brand, your brand needs to be using something like LinkedIn. So I found it really fascinating reading into this article and looking into LinkedIn a little bit more. So
there's ours if you want to check us out on LinkedIn. Those are two industry news pieces. We have one other kind of exciting thing that we saw. I think it was yesterday. Dave Basulto with iOgrapher, who we love the iOgrapher cases. We use them all the time. They're coming out with a new case, and he put a video doing a full walkthrough on everything that you'll need to know about it, how to get it set up, and all of those good things. So when we kind of transition, since I'm talking to you right now, after that I'll copy and paste that into the comments so you can see that along with those other two posts. And of course, if you know some industry news that we might have missed or things you'd like to see us discuss or talk about, go ahead and put those in the comments and keep that those conversations going. I know Jimmy earlier was asking where everyone's watching from, and let us know. I see
Where we at?
California, people saying congratulations on the new space. I see DC, Nevada, Reno, Nevada, Boston, Maryland, all over. I also see Kendall in here saying great. Hey, Kendall just did an awesome production with Switcher using like an Osmo mobile gimbal, and like there's like someone shredding on a guitar. That was pretty cool. Kendall just posted there. Yeah, throw the video down. I'd love to brag a little bit. Brag
put a link in there.
Put the link of the video you just made in the comments. We'll do an extra made with Switcher this
There
week
you go.
or something.
Perfect.
But yeah, so that's going to do it for industry news. Moving on to our next piece is we're going to have a nice little live video strategy.
All right, so this week I had the opportunity to speak with one of our Switcher Studio users. It's great to like make our show a lot about our users. We want to know who you all are, and we've had a great opportunity to do that. I spoke with, I called him up and he said, hey, it's Jim, and he goes, hey, what's up? It's Char. So I talked to Char Tyson today, and he was giving me some tips about using sponsorships with your live videos. So Richard, if you don't already know, he has a channel, and I want to plug him too here. It's WMTV Channel 27. It's Marion, Indiana. Char has like a great opportunity where he lives in a small county, doesn't have a lot of people, but he's been able to really get a focused audience, and he's become one of the people that's providing the news and information about what's happening around town. So I reached out to him because he's been able to utilize sponsorships.
There's his channel up there
and
if you
some of
want
his
to see
videos.
it.
So yeah, go check this out. Go check out WMTV Channel 27. It's on Facebook there. If you just search that, it'll say, it might even say Marion, Indiana, just to make sure. But please go check that out. He's got some great content up there, and to the point where he's actually been able to just generate some revenue through the channel using sponsorships. So I reached out to him because he knows more about that than we do. We don't have we don't really seek sponsorships here. We've just got some good friends that we work with, like Dan mentioned iOgrapher earlier. But if you're interested in maybe generating a little bit of revenue from what you're doing, and you are trying to find different ways of utilizing sponsorships, here's some tips that I got from Char. So thanks so much for that. And I'm just going to start off with a couple of these things. So number one is you need to have some content that's already going up in the first place. So you need to be generating content on a regular basis so that when it comes to the time to show businesses or just other potential sponsors what you're doing, that you've got people watching and they can see how many likes and they can see this sort of information and they can see how many people are tuning in to your channel's content. So one thing, just start making content. Even if you don't have sponsors yet, start putting stuff out there and try to generate an audience. So number two, we got to remember.
Shout out really quick to Char in the comments as
Oh,
well.
he's here.
Hey,
What's up?
Char.
Hey, man. What's up? Nice talking to you earlier on today. So, hey, you need to, number two, businesses are going to go, and this is a quote too. You correct me if I'm wrong. I was typing what you said. Businesses are going to where the audience is. So from that, you've got to definitely have some numbers to back up what you've got saying. It kind of goes back to that first point. Figure out how many viewers you've got and know that businesses are just going to go where the viewers are. So get those counts together. Figure out your numbers there. And also you need to make a case, with that being said, you need to make a case for the size of your audience and your reach. You got to figure out how many followers you have. How many views are you getting on a regular basis? If you don't know that number yet, you need to go into your Facebook stats and just take a peek on your page and figure out, hey, this is generally what I'm getting, and be ready with that info. here's some other information that I was not completely aware of. There's some stat out there that says internet ads actually generate more revenue than cable TV advertising. So even though we're making video and using video, the platform for video isn't nailed down to cable TV anymore. You can also do video with Facebook. So just remember that internet ads, tell that to your potential sponsors. Internet ads are going to be a really big driving force in generating revenue, not just cable TV and things that you put on there. Also, you can share internet. If it's on Facebook, I can take your video and I can share it to as many people. I can't share a cable TV ad with somebody while I'm sitting on the couch with my phone in my hand. So that's another important thing to really mention to your sponsors. If you want to start off simple, one of the easiest thing you can do is just to make a title card that has the name or maybe the Facebook page or like another sort of platform that your sponsor is on, and just offer up like a 15-second voiceover that they can even write for you about their brand or what they want to do. And this is a really simple, and it's probably an most cost-effective option for a sponsor. Just say, I will plug your business or your brand or your page, whatever it is, and I'll do it for this small amount. So that's one of the easiest and quickest things that you can get into. Another thing that you can do is you can do a live video shout out. So maybe anytime that you go live, you just tell somebody like, when I'm live, I'll definitely give you a shout out, and maybe I'll put your logo on the screen or something like that. So that's another really simple one. Winding down the last couple of these, this may be just a little bit more like bookkeeping, but try to use a monthly rate if you're going to offer a sponsorship opportunity to somebody. Don't just do a live a sponsorship on a single video. Unless you know that video is going to be attracting a large, huge audience, really just try to lock people into consistent and a number of ads for a monthly period. That way you can actually then offer them up a 6-month option. So then you could do like a 6-month plan, maybe make it worth their while, knock a few dollars off of it, make it a little bit more inexpensive, make it the economical choice for your sponsor. That way you have a little bit more predictable revenue from your advertising if you're interested in doing that. So these type of things, make sure it's like on a monthly and then offer like a 6-month basis. This way you can do more ads. They can in that time too, they can be telling other people about the fact that they're getting their name mentioned on this live video or something like that. So that's another option. The last point I want to make isn't so much of a tip, but it's a little bit of a warning. What you need to remember about advertising, especially with Facebook, is that Facebook really wants your videos to be live, like unmistakably live. So if you are going to do sponsorships or advertising on your page and you're going to put that in some sort of live video, make sure that those advertisements are definitely part of a live production. Don't put together something that's just a giant montage of pre-recorded ads. If Facebook sees that, you're going to get flagged and you're going to get taken down. So if you are going to utilize sponsorships and you're going to do pre-recorded things, make sure that it's most definitely part of a live production and it's unmistakably like, this is us, we're live, and we want to give a shout out to so-and-so and whatnot. So keep those things in mind if you're just getting started with that. If you got some other tips for how to do sponsorships, I know Char, you're in there right now. If you got some other things I might have left out, or if some other people have experimented with this, we'd really like to know what you think. If there's some cool tips. We're not necessarily the experts on everything. We just want to give some live video strategy tips if you're interested in checking out how to do sponsorships. So please, if you got some of that stuff, please leave that in the comments there, and we'd love to hear it. We'd love to, maybe we'll make a nice blog article about it.
And definitely check out his channel here again. There it is down there. Yeah. Who's Your Know-It-All is one of my favorite things to watch on the internet. It's so fun. It's Jeopardy, and you get to answer the questions along with everybody. It's great. It's good. Go check it out.
It's good stuff. Yeah, check it out. Marion County, is that right? Yeah, it's Marion, Indiana. I can't remember what county it is specifically. I'm sure Charles will correct me in the comments.
Yeah, and if Char or his show, Who's Your Know-It-All, sound familiar, it was our Made with Switcher segment a couple of months ago, and that's really how we got to know him, started to talk with him. So it's always great. You mentioned to kind of be promoting Switcher Studio users through, but it's great to see people continuing to evolve and do more and more things where we can then throw it back to them. So definitely, we'll get into how to share your videos a little bit later. But if you are interested in learning more tips like this, so not just about sponsorship, but anything that can really help with creating live video, definitely check out our blog. It's switcherstudio.com/blog, and we've got a ton of posts. So if you are a Switcher Studio user, thank you so much. We've got stuff in there for you guys. But also, if you're not yet doing live video, or you're doing live video just through like a native app or something, we still have tips in there for you guys as well. So definitely check it out. Again, it's switcherstudio.com/blog, and there's an option in there to drop your email address, and that way anytime we post a new blog article, you'll get just a little email in your inbox letting you know what has just been posted.
Yeah, we got which one is going up this week, I think, or did Kate, you were kind of like looking at it earlier.
Oh man, I don't remember. Kate, I think, was watching earlier. She wrote it. Maybe she can post it in the comments or just let everyone know.
We got a cool one coming out.
I think
it's great.
Yeah,
so do check that out for sure.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to say something that's wrong.
Yeah,
so
don't do
hopefully
that.
Kate can get in there, or just subscribe, and it'll be a
You'll find out.
surprise when it comes out in the next couple days.
You'll find out.
Awesome, Grant County, by the way.
Grant County. Thank you. There we go.
That's what Char was telling us. But yeah, so let's move on to our next bit here, which is going to be our Switch It Up segment. And this is a good one. These new devices are coming out. Don't have the headphone port, but you still want to get some interesting different audio. Jimmy's our audio guy. He's going to have lots to talk about here in a sec.
I'm going to keep this as short as I can because there is so much that you could cover about digital audio and all sorts of different devices that we keep finding every day about, like on Amazon, and how do you connect audio to your iOS device. It is a very, we are completely aware, it is a common issue. I mean, like what, Angela, you answer a lot of support emails. Yeah. Just ballpark, how, like percentage, what would you say are issues with audio?
I would say probably like at least 25%.
20, okay.
And sometimes it's, basic, sometimes it's extremely advanced,
right.
and there's all in between. But I'd say at least a good 25%. Depending on the day sometimes, I'd give it a third at that point.
Well, so yeah, Dan called me an audio expert, and I know a lot about audio, I think really, if I had to say anything, I'm a troubleshooting expert. And when it comes to audio and things like that, that's more important than knowing everything there is to know about audio. So let's talk about some different adapters that you can use. And also I'm going to briefly just remember how to think of how devices are getting audio input, so that next time you're in a pinch, maybe you can start thinking about some of these troubleshooting things for how the device works, so you can say, oh, this is why I'm not hearing it, right? So let's talk about digital adapters. So with not the current iPad Pro, the most recent release one has a USB-C port, but I'm going to talk about a lot of your iOS devices which can utilize this, which is a Lightning to USB-C adapter. Some people would call this the camera connection kit back in the day. I think they still call this, but it's Lightning to USB.
If you're looking for that one, and when you are getting these adapters, I always recommend getting the Apple certified ones. That is called the USB camera adapter is what it is called.
Nice. So yeah. USB camera adapter, and model A1619. A1619 here, I'll get so you can see what this is because we got a little glare behind. So this is how you can get a digital connection into your iOS device. Now, once you've got this USB port now, you can use a certain segment of audio interfaces, and they have to be what's called iOS compatible. I see a lot of people mentioning these like Behringer mixers that have like 20 channels and they've got a USB port on the back of it. So just because you can get a USB port here that plugs into your iOS device does not guarantee that that audio device that you've got is going to talk with your iOS device or talk with Switcher specifically. So let's just talk about a few things that you can do. So here, let's talk about first the most basic digital audio adapter. And if you've got an iPhone 7 or later, everybody got one of these and it came with your device. So this right here is the Lightning to headphone adapter. What this lets you do is plug in your earpods, your wired earpods that came with your kind of the older devices. So they've got a TRRS connector. This takes the lightning port and turns it into an analog port. So that's really what we're doing, is we're converting a digital signal into an analog signal. So if you've got something like we've got a little mixer over here, into something like this, you could plug like the Rode SC4 in, for example. So now we're back to analog. So I know I said we're starting talking about digital stuff, but this gives you the opportunity to now plug in something like just like a little mixer with 3.5 millimeters. So this would be the most simple digital adapter. There are some other ones like Chris Carson kind of turned me on to these. They're like,
speaking of,
Chris
just
Carson
joined Chris Carson.
what's up, Chris?
Chris.
Speak of the devil. And here, okay, so we've got this lightning adapter here, and it's lightning to USB on this side and headphones on this side. So it says USB, but ultimately when you get these little T adapters, what you're really getting is you're getting a power input on this side, and you're getting another input for this adapter specifically on this side. So this, don't be fooled, this doesn't really turn your device into some extra USB connection. It's really just allowing you to power it while you're doing audio. So not exactly the same. So now let's look at how can we use this. So I don't have a Zoom H6 with me, but a Zoom H6 is something that people are commonly using. So whenever you use this adapter, you've now opened it up so that you can use the iOS compatible Zoom H6 so that it can be used as your audio input and output for Switcher. So when you have this plugged in and the Zoom plugged in, the audio becomes the in from the Zoom, and the monitoring will go out to the Zoom through this port. Here's another thing that's interesting. Let's say you plug the Zoom in with this adapter, okay, and you're listening to everything and you've got it fine. Well, let's say my device, here I'll pull out my iPhone 5 for example. So I'll plug in a Zoom to this. So let's say there's a Zoom plugged in here. Well, if I've got like, I'm getting text messages. Let's say I've got another device that's got analog. So it's like my headphones, or I've got this Rode adapter that has the TRRS input. If I plug this into the device now, my device is going to know, oh, you've just changed to the other input. You want to use the analog input now. So the important thing to remember is your iOS device is always going to use the last plug that you plugged into it. If this had an HDMI adapter on it and I plugged the HDMI adapter into it, it would send the audio out to the HDMI output. So if I had a monitor that was connected to it, now the output would go to the monitor rather than going to the headphone that I had plugged in. So that's really what a really important takeaway is. The last thing that you plug in is what's going to be connected there. So if you intend on using a digital adapter, make sure it's the last thing that you plugged in before going live with Switcher. So one more thing I'm going to look at. Here's an example of one of the smallest and cheapest digital audio interfaces that I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure Dominic was
shout outs to Dominic for this one.
Thank you for Dominic from Stream. He pointed this out. It's called I'm going to go this way. It's called the Sabrent. And Dan, if you look in our outline today, I've got a link to this. This is a Sabrent USB audio interface. This is iOS compatible. And what it has is a green port for headphones, and it has a red port for a microphone. So if you take this device and you plugged it, and it's got a USB port on it. So if I take that and I plugged it into this adapter, what I've basically done is I've turned this adapter into an audio interface. I've got headphone monitoring on one, and I've got microphone input on the other one. So this is a really cheap option, and it's the most simple way to visualize what's happening whenever you use these digital adapters. You've got a lightning port that has a USB connector on it. You need to connect a USB audio device, such as something like this that has audio in and audio out. And when you've got something like that there, this is all you need to utilize digital audio with Switcher Studio. Something else that's cool about these is with this adapter, it's got another port here so that you can use power. So you can take something like maybe a battery, and you can also power your device while you're using the USB connection. So these are really awesome, especially if you've got the newest iPad Pros. If you're in our user group, you'll see that there are some people that are using USB-C digital multi-port adapters that have HDMI, USB, and the lightning adapters. You can power it, you can connect an audio interface, and you can have an HDMI output. Those are all awesome, and Dan and I have actually tested it in the field and had success. We used an adapter like this. This is just your regular camera adapter, and we used an Anchor USB hub, and we were able to connect the hub to this. We had this audio adapter connected, and the hub even had Ethernet coming out of the back of it. So these digital connections are very powerful. If you're tired of using something like this SC4, maybe consider and look into the options when it comes to audio in and out with iOS devices using something like a digital adapter. And hopefully we'll have some, I'm sure we have some good articles in our knowledge base that can give you some more information about using these. I would like to put together a video on exactly how to use the Zoom H6 for people, and there's plenty of other people in our user group that have put things like this out in the past, but we'll look forward to that as well in the future to figure out how to use USB or digital audio inputs with Switcher Studio. So there you go.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember out in, where were we, Lake Tahoe or somewhere, where we had the Ethernet port and everything.
We had but
it
was all just using the adapters,
right.
And we had a battery. So like when you've got this adapter, which has an input for the battery, you can power your device while adding these other inputs. So it's super helpful to have this sort of, it's really great. And the brand new iPad Pros can now use the USB-C multi-port adapter, so you can do even more with them. So it's definitely worth looking into.
Here's a question that, and Kendall and Chris were kind of talking about it here in the comments, and I don't know the answer exactly, but it's something that we've got the stuff right here. So once we're done here, I'll test it out and I can report back. But the little T adapter that you had there, that does it do? We know it does the analog audio, but does it do digital as well?
It does not.
It does not.
These adapters do not do that. And if you find one that does, I'd like to know about it.
Okay.
That's not what these do. So if you have these T adapters, even though it has a little USB mark on it, it's really just giving you 5 volts of power. It's not going to give you an actual universal serial bus like connection for data communication between. It's not going to do that. It's just going to be power. And I've tried it, because if you take this, which has a lightning port, and hey, this lightning port fits into this USB side, it won't give you audio on it because there's nothing connected to it. This side's power, and this side is for the headphone adapter. So if you're getting these 90-degree angle T connector pieces, they're very specifically purposed. It's power and to connect one of these. So that'd be my advice.
Two other things. Kendall, to answer that though, 'cause she's talking about the iRig Mic HD2. They're talking about that. That will work with the Apple camera adapter. Like that, I've used that. That mic comes with the USB plug, and you can plug that right into that adapter. Mm-hmm. Someone else, if we can just do a little recap. So they came in late, and they want to know, can the adapter work with using the Zoom H6? And then that again would be the Apple
with the USB camera adapter that you can get from Apple. This will work. This is how you get like something like the Zoom H6 into an iOS device. And there are a host of other like USB compatible audio interfaces that will connect to your iOS device. If you just go to a site like Sweetwater or B&H, photo.com, you can just search for iOS compatible audio, and you'll find adapters, you'll find different little interfaces. What I really like about the Zoom and some other ones, I think I've got a Ceramonic, but it's like over there. Look for these battery powered options, because if you have something that's battery powered, you can have portable audio. You're not going to be able to see it because it's off camera, but we're using a battery powered mixer right now so that you can hear our voices. And we're actually plugging it in. We're not using the digital connection. We're doing an analog into an iPad. But just look up iOS compatible audio interface, or look in the description. I got a link to this. I think it's like $8 if you want. So look into this little Sabrent piece, and you'll see exactly what's going on. It's saying USB to audio out and audio in. So that's really what it comes down to. Just remember that, hey, I've got this plugged in. Audio's got to come in from somewhere. It's got to go out from somewhere. And the last device I plugged in is what the phone or the iPad is going to use. So
yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that we could talk about audio all day.
Yeah, I tried to keep it short, and it just didn't happen. It never does.
It's no problems.
It never does.
I want to save some time, because Angela has an awesome Made with Switcher that we need to get to here. But before that, I guess maybe talk a little bit about the user group. I see some of these people in here are talking. I've mentioned the user group.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of people we've shouted out to so far are not only watching the show each week, but they're also very active in our user group. And if you guys want to learn more, audio equipment and everything like that, the user group is also a great place to be. So we have a Facebook online community. It's called Switcher Studio Enthusiasts. We're like right under 4,000, so I'm very excited to be getting to that. But it's a place for really anyone, whether you just started using Switcher, whether you're thinking about using Switcher, or whether you've been with Switcher Studio for a long time. There's a bunch of tips and tricks in there for how to get your videos done the best. People will share examples of videos they've created with Switcher Studio. And if you have a question and you ask it in the user group, not only are, Jimmy and Dan and myself and the rest of the team in there, but all of the other members are super quick and super willing to help people out. So I highly recommend joining it. There's 3 ways to join. The first is by going to, just typing in Switcher Studio Enthusiasts on Facebook, and that's going to take you right there. The second, if you're watching this on our Facebook page right now, click on groups from in the menu, and that's also going to take you there. And the third way is if you already have a Switcher Studio account, log in at switcherstudio.com. That's going to take you to your dashboard, and from there you can click on Join the Online Community. So any of those 3 methods will work. There's a short survey to fill out just to let us know more of how you're using Switcher Studio, what things we can bring to you guys to make it even better. And then after that, you'll have full access into the group. And that brings us to, our last segment of the show. Anytime you share any video you've created with Switcher Studio, we recommend using the hashtag madewithswitcher. So whether it's on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, we use that tag. We look at all the videos posted. We love seeing those. And we like to share an example of one great video that was made with Switcher each week on the show. So earlier with Char Tyson, I mentioned that we actually showed, a segment from his show, Who's Your Know-It-All, on Made with Switcher a couple of weeks ago. And we've got another great one for you guys today.
Let's check it out.
So it's always exciting to see sports done with Switcher Studio. So this time we've got a high school championship football game. So this was a video created by, user Vincent Bernard. He has actually got his own company called CVB Media, and he's had a partnership for this entire autumn with a radio station in his area called Mega Rock. So both CBV Media and Mega Rock are headquartered in Carnes City, Pennsylvania. And this was a 3-hour broadcast that they collaborated and did together live from the Deal Stadium about a week ago in Carnes City. So this is a great example. This was a championship game. They're using multiple camera angles in this production. We were just going over earlier Char's tips with sponsorships. They've got a lot of sponsorships in here as well. So they've got, 15-second video ads that'll play occasionally on, in between different plays. They've got logos for everyone that'll go up. They've also got a big overlay that shows all of their sponsors that they'll put on the screen from time to time with the logos of the 2 football teams that are playing. So this is a great example of how you can use those video ads. Again, it's very clear this is a live video, and it's showing that, it's just the tiny insert, so Facebook's not going to get annoyed with it. You can see they've also got a scoreboard in the corner. We've gone over in some of the past episodes, how to use iOS screen sharing to share your screen and use a scoreboard app. They're doing another technique that we've seen for years and years where they actually have a camera that's focused on the scoreboard in the stadium, and that way it's automatically updating. They don't have to worry about doing that, and they're just using picture-in-picture to get that done. They've also got commentary from Mega Rock coming through, just coming through with a mixer, so that way you've got that content as well for the live video. So again, this was a great example. I know Vincent was saying how proud he was of this. This was something that came together kind of last minute for the championship game to get everything worked out. And he loved the amount of sponsors they were able to get. He loved the setup they were able to get. Again, this is 1 week old, and it's got 20,000 views as of this morning. A lot of those, we mentioned sharing videos. He had 80 shares, so that's helping more people to see this game. It also had 300 reactions and hundreds of comments from the people who were watching it live. So, great job to Vincent, his team at CVB Media, and Mega Rock. They all did a great job on this production. Definitely check out CVB Media and Mega Rock. They do have more productions that are going to be coming through, so you'll not only be able to see some of their previous work, but some of their upcoming work.
That's awesome.
And there, I just posted that in there, so if people want to check it out, you can
Pennsylvania football.
look at that. It's actually,
It's a great game.
yeah, it was championship football, and some high school football is really, really good. And this was one of those examples. One other thing I want to mention about our user group, and that is something we'll be doing in about an hour now. It's 2:45 now.
An hour and 15.
At 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Wednesday, we like to do a watch party, Facebook watch party, where we go over how to do everything you need to do, or everything you need to know about how to stream with switchers. So Jimmy put together some really good videos and talks about those things, and they work really well, and we'll be in the comments answering any questions that you have. So I think that's what we've got. Anything else you guys want to add?
Join us at 4 p.m. We'll be there answering questions. Ask us anything you want to know about Switcher while we watch me explain how to use Switcher. There's always a few people in there and have questions that they're just things they don't know about. So we're there live answering questions while we watch. So be there or be square. All right?
Yeah.
I think that's the end of our show. Hey, if you haven't done it already, please follow us. We really like you to do that up there, or tap the button over here. Maybe it's down here if you're on a phone, and it's up there and over if you're on watching on a desktop. We really appreciate. Once again, we're here every Wednesday at 2 p.m. at facebook.com/switcherstudio. Hey, I'm going to shamelessly plug our YouTube as well. Go check us out on YouTube. I'm making some videos on there about different things and updates. So just follow us on all that stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, do the thing. Thank you so much.
We'll see you next
That's
time.
all.